2 weeks before the first missile hit Tehran, the sky began to change. Military flight trackers were lighting up. It wasn't just fighters, it was the unseen backbone of war. KC-135 Stratotankers and KC-46 Pegasus aircraft. Hundreds of them. To the average observer, it was just logistics. To military analysts, it was a refueling bridge, a clear sign that a long-distance strike was imminent. Then, the carriers moved. The USS Gerald R. Ford took its position in the eastern Mediterranean. Stealth F-35s began landing at Israeli air bases in the Negev. The stage was set for Operation Epic Fury. On the morning of February 28, 2026, the silence broke. In a coordinated campaign involving nearly 200 Israeli jets and American strategic bombers, the US and Israel launched a massive, preemptive strike. But this wasn't just about hitting factories. It was about decapitation. Using high-level intelligence from the CIA and Mossad, precision strikes targeted a high-level security meeting in Tehran. The result? Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei was killed in the first wave. The fallout? He wasn't alone. Over 40 senior officials, including military commanders like Aziz Nasserzadeh and Abdul Rahim Mousavi, were eliminated in the same hour. In 60 minutes, the Islamic Republic's entire command structure was effectively erased. The US deployed a staggering array of modern weaponry. This was a masterclass in multi-domain warfare. The heavy hitters, B-1 and B-2 stealth bombers. Air superiority, F-22 and F-35 stealth fighters alongside a 10 attack jets. Unmanned power, MQ-9 Reapers and the advanced Lucas drones. The Shield, Patriot and THAAD anti-ballistic missile systems protected regional assets from the inevitable retaliation. Iran's response was desperate and widespread. According to CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper, the Iranian regime attacked 12 different countries. The retaliation wasn't just military. It deliberately targeted innocent people. In one instance, Iranian forces fired 7 attack drones directly into residential neighborhoods in Bahrain. This transition from a localized strike to a regional war involving 12 nations is exactly what analysts feared. Iran's leadership was gone, but its war machine was programmed to fight back. Within hours, the region exploded. Ballistic barrages, hundreds of missiles were launched toward Israel and US bases in Qatar, Bahrain, and the UAE, the proxy war. Fighting spilled into Lebanon and Iraq as Iranian-backed militias joined the fray. Cyber warfare. Digital blackouts plunged Iranian cities into darkness, while Iranian hackers targeted Gulf desalination plants and airports. The conflict is no longer a strike. It was a regional firestorm. Iran also expanded its retaliation beyond military targets. Drone strikes targeted energy infrastructure across the Gulf, oil facilities, ports, logistics hubs. Energy infrastructure is a strategic target during modern warfare because it affects global markets. Even limited disruptions can drive major changes in oil prices. For countries dependent on energy exports, these facilities are critical. Attacks on them raised fears that the conflict could impact global energy supplies. Within just days, the conflict had expanded far beyond a single battlefield. Airstrikes were hitting targets across Iran. Missiles were being launched across the Middle East. Energy infrastructure was under threat. Civilian areas were experiencing air raid alerts. Military analysts began warning that the conflict could escalate into a wider regional war. Because once multiple countries become involved in missile exchanges, controlling escalation becomes extremely difficult. Every retaliation risks triggering another. The war between Iran, Israel, and the United States began with a quiet military buildup. Tankers crossing oceans, fighters deploying to distant bases, aircraft carriers moving into position. To most people, those movements looked routine. But to those who understood military logistics, they revealed something else entirely. A carefully prepared network designed to support a massive air campaign. And when the first strikes began, that network went to work. Now, the question facing the region isn't just how the war started, it's how far it might spread. Because in modern warfare, the first strike is rarely the last. By March 8, 2026, the Assembly of Experts named Mojtaba Khamenei as the new Supreme Leader. But the war is far from over.
The United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury,
the most lethal, most complex, and most precise aerial operation in history.
Our military in the Middle East is undertaking an unprecedented operation to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans, as they've been doing for nearly half a century. We are also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy.
We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it.
combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved.